Good afternoon. What a horrible, horrible hurricane there is slamming into Florida today. I have a brother in Cape Coral, and so I'm very worried about him. And the eye is going right over him right now, even as I speak. Well, I was just going to talk a little bit, just very briefly today, about a few of the figs in my little fig garden here. I just thought it would be interesting to point out. Here I have 4 or 5 Ronde Bordeaux. Aren't they beautiful? That I started this summer. Aren't they just gorgeous plants? And I've got a couple Smith. And this one I started last year as a cutting, and I have it still under the tree. I have to dig it up, but I have it earmarked for a friend. So it's fine. In the fall, I'm going to dig it out and give it to him as a gift. And then I have a crepe myrtle over there that I started down there. But isn't it interesting? I thought I'd mention that those are the only 2 varieties that I decided to start this year. I've got plenty of figs. I don't need any more. But these I'll gift out. But I just thought that would be interesting. I wonder why that is. I don't know. But let me put you on pause for a second because I wanted to show you something. This is a champagne tree that I pruned back pretty hard about a month ago or so. And it produced for me previously last year. I pruned it back this year. And because it's in the shade of my other fig trees, so I'm going to remove it. I love this variety, got to tell you. Okay, champagne, LSU champagne, said to be Dr. O'Rourke's favorite of all the LSU figs. And I shoveled around deep as I could with my spade shovel, about 8 inches down, all the way around it. And I went deeper than that, about a foot away from the base, so that the roots will consolidate and strengthen in that one little spot, so that when I do remove the root ball in the fall or spring, it will have more root base to it. And I cut off all the excess roots or the roots growing outwardly. So that's just a little technique that I use. When I move this tree, it's going to survive, and I'm going to put it in a full sun spot. And you know, I want to talk about that very quickly. Full sun. Please try to avoid any shade. Can you get away with a little shade? Yeah, you can. You can. And you can still have a harvest, sure. But you're not going to have the best harvest if you don't have full sun. Take great pains. Even if you have to chop down unnecessary trees so that you don't block the sunlight. Figs like full sun, period, period, period. If you want to have a large, delicious harvest of quality figs. Now, this is a little champagne that I took as a cutting, and I planted it here. I started it last year, and it's bearing fruit now. There's some in there, and I gobbled down a couple. And that's what always makes me remember to film these things. And so I took this one. I said, wait, before I eat it, let me just preview this fig, because this is a fig that I don't talk about too much. But I love, love, love very, very much. And so let me see if I can cut this darn thing. Or I got a knife in one hand. I've got an alma. I just picked from my alma tree. I've been a little bit today kind of disoriented because of worrying about my brother down in Florida and his wife. But let me just cut this fig for a second. There we go. Look at that. Now, you know that I'm very fond of certain honey figs. I'm fond of all figs if they taste good. I don't care what they are. And if I can grow them and they taste good, well, guess what? They're in my favor. And I'm very, very happy and contented. This particular variety, LSU Champagne, is a wonderful, delicious, interesting fig. Of course, it has Celeste as its parent, like almost every LSU fig does. And there's good reason for that, and we've discussed it in the past. And it reminds me of a Celeste, but it's yellow. And it certainly doesn't taste exactly like a Celeste at all, or like a Celeste. It tastes different. It's just really, really delicious. In ground. You know, I've grown this in containers. I like it better in ground. I don't like Celeste in ground. I don't like Desert King, which I call Desert King, which I think was morphed over time. I think that's originally what it was called, when it was a tremendous sensation 60 years ago in California when it was relatively discovered. And I don't like Peter's honey in the ground either. I mean, in a container. I just don't like it. Certain figs will not perform in containers, okay? And other figs won't perform in the ground because it might be too cold, and so you need to put them in containers. But this particular fig is just exceptional in ground. I love it. Now I'm going to take a bite of this. Please forgive me. I wish I had 1,000 of these. I wish I had 1,000 of them. Now, I shared one of these with Debbie earlier, so I'm going to take the liberty of devouring the other half of this. How wonderful. Well, here we go. And here's another of those Alma, which I have been having a wonderful time with because, again, stagger your figs. And this one has been producing so many figs in the last 2 weeks. It has such a unique, velvety kind of creamy, exotic flavor to it. I really love this hybrid fig developed by the University of Alabama. Thus the name Alma. And I've got nothing bad. It's got a closed eye. It's extremely prolific, as I've explained in previous videos. I just like it. And so there's a place for it. Certainly a place for it in your orchard if you have the space, if you could afford the space for it. And I'm looking here now and I'm seeing all kinds of figs I need to devour. I've been on a devouring campaign today. I've eaten so many figs today, and again, I was gobbling down those champagne, and so I thought, let me share that information with you. I hope you enjoyed that. I'll make this one short today. I've got some jobs to do, and I've got to go follow that hurricane and see if I can contact my brother down in Florida, which I've lost contact with him. We're out of communication at the time. Category 5 hurricane, and his town, Cape Coral, was ground zero, essentially. So that's going on right now at this moment. It's otherwise here in New Jersey a wonderful day. Many of the persimmons trees have been bearing fruit nonstop. I mentioned this the other day. I'll mention it again. This is a very, very wonderful, very fruitful tree. An American persimmons called Yates. And look at them all. And there we go. When they fall down, as I've said before, here we go. They're perfectly ripe. They've got seeds, so you have to be careful. But not too many, especially Yates. Organic. All my stuff is I try to stick with organic as much as I possibly can. And so it's hard to do. I'm 99% organic. These are 100%. All these trees are 100% organic. Because I just refuse to put anything, even non-organic fertilizer around them. I just won't do it. My beautiful, beautiful Nikita's Gift, which I have mentioned to you ad nauseum. Why? I wonder why. Why have I recommended this tree? I don't know. Must be a reason. Well, some things have to remain a mystery, I suppose. And the reason why I've recommended Nikita's Gift, well, I imagine that must be among them. But my fellow Figsters out there and gardeners watching this video, I'm sure you've come up with some ideas as to why maybe I've recommended this tree ad nauseum. And I will continue to do it, because my job is to disseminate information to you. That is my mission. And I don't care how I do it. I don't care if I'm repetitious or redundant, but I think this is worth showing more than once. I really do think it is, because I want you, all of you out there, to scratch your head for a minute and say, you know what, that Lou Monte, you know what, he might actually have a point about planting one of these persimmons trees in my yard. I think I might do that. Or why else would he make these videos and talk about his figs and his other produce in the yard and blueberries? I have a really nice blueberry video too, if you want to go back, and mulberries. Why else would he do it? Well, I can tell you the primary reason is very simply a 3-letter word. 3 letters. You. Do it for you. And what do I ask in return? That you just simply do it. That's all out there. And I'll know about it. Someday, you'll send me a comment or a photograph, and you'll say, hey, Lou, check this out. This is my Nikita's Gift growing in my yard. My goodness, am I so glad you recommended this variety, along with the others, the Seijo and the Yates, the American persimmons, the Japanese persimmons, the crosses. Plant one of these in the yard. That's why I make these videos. Rosianka, I featured not long ago. You know, I just picked some figs off of here, and so, oh, I got my finger caught in my net. Well, I went over the allotted time today, so with that, thank you for your visit. I probably do have one thing. I could go in and show you the black Madeira. Again, one of my favorite cultivars, black Madeira, and I just simply love it. And yes, I've been eating these for quite a few weeks. About a month they've been getting ripe. Even when I went away for 2 weeks, my son was picking them and eating them. There's some ripe ones here. I didn't plan on this part. Look at that. Wait. You know what? Look at that. I don't know if I can. I think you would be disappointed if I didn't. Hey, look at all these figs down here. Oh boy. I just love my figs. I'm sorry. Look at that one. Perfectly right. Let's grab this one. Here we go. They're hard to pull off, these black Madeira. Oh, look at that one there. I'm gonna go ahead and just break it up. Here's some more Italian 258s, so many. Oh gosh, I'm really getting full. Here, let's break this one up. Well, I could cut it or something. Here, put it up here. I don't know if I can. Hold on a second. Okay. All right. There it is. Black Madeira. Gosh, I'm having a hard time today. I think I'm out of sorts. Oh, wow. Almost lost that half. All right. Well, I'm going to gobble this down. Wow. One of the most delicious figs I've ever tasted. Wow, in the taste category, you know, once you reach a certain place, honestly, I'm a very practical person. You don't really need, I don't think, my personal opinion, neck on the chopping block, for what it's worth, controversy, I don't think it's not worth going any further. It's ridiculous. If you can find a wonderful, delicious, exquisite tasting fig that is very, very prolific and very disease resistant and will ripen in time, and it's delicious, like Italian 258, or like Smith, which ripens even earlier, or Black Madeira, okay, which is an outstanding cultivar, and I get plenty of ripe figs every year. Look at my videos, just look at them. Let's pick another one, actually. And if you can do that, why search any further? Honestly. I mean, you don't need to do it. You don't need to spend all of that extra money and all of that extra, and have everything taking up space. You don't need it. You can settle and say, you know what, I've got several apex figs. Several. In my collection, and I'm going to use this phrase now, I'm going to coin it now, which are exceedingly outstanding. Okay? Exceedingly outstanding. Well, guess what? If that's the truth, and it would be, if you grow these cultivars that I'm talking about here, these wonderful, magnificent, superb, apex, supreme cultivars, if you did that, okay, then you would be growing some of the very best figs in the world. No question about it. Then why do I have to continue searching and spending money and occupying space? And you could focus all your attention on those cultivars and get better results. Hold on one second. Even I'm going to shut up for a second for this. Wow. God, is that good. Let's open up a golden rainbow, which is a yellow long neck, period, for what it's worth. Look at that. Doesn't that look good? Doesn't it? And you know, there's one other thing I want to talk about today. Wow, look at that. Jeez, oh, this is so much fun. I love this. Oh, that's a good one. Wow, that's tasty. That's the thing about yellow long neck. Some of them are extremely tasty. They got a long hang time. Long hang time. When you get them right, though, they really are good. Others, not so good. On the tree. Same tree, not so good. Don't pick them early. Don't do it. You know, please, this video, okay, I'm sorry, I apologize, going a little long, but I do have so many things I always want to talk to you about. I have to talk to you about something. I want to dispel Figbusters. I want to dispel a notion. Figbusters. Here we go. I still have plenty of Figbuster videos I want to make because it irritates me, I have to say. I want to tell you that sometimes you'll see on the internet and places, YouTube, you will see videos about ways to make figs ripen early. And I want to tell you, not only is that controversial, it's false in most cases. Okay? And there's one particular method I want to dispel right now, Figbusters. Okay? The thing about oiling the fig, never, in my opinion, for what it's worth. If you trust me, for what it's worth, believe me, 50 years, listen to me. Do not put oil on your figs, on the eye of your figs. Do not do it. I don't care what any grower says. I don't care what any authority says. And if there are really authorities, and if they know anything really about figs, they won't say it. Because it's not true. If they genuinely have any experience, not just 2 or 3 or 5 years, they will say that do not oil your figs. My family knows it. True gardeners know it. Experienced Figsters know it. I know it. Do not put oil on your figs. Will it ripen them earlier? Yes. But the quality will be diminished significantly. Is that a maybe, Lou? No. Is that just a little bit, Lou? No. It's an absolute certainty, and it's a lot to me. Because I grow figs for one thing, to eat them. I mean, I grow them to eat them and give a few away. But you know what? I need to eat this, don't I? Well, you know, I'm going to save this one because Debbie didn't have this one today. So I'm going to save that one for her. She's had the Black Madeira. And I picked a bunch of 258s and Black Madeira yesterday. So, but I want her to taste this again. So now I have to find a new focal point. Well, I can still talk about it. Oh, maybe I'll pick another Black Madeira. That would be good. Pick another one of these. This one's nice and right. Look at that. Wow. Okay. We'll do that. All right, back to the subject. Please, Figsters out there, viewers, subscribers, don't put oil on there. Don't waste your time. Okay? Figbusters, I'm dispelling a myth. Do not put oil on your fig. Will it ripen your figs sooner? Yeah, a little bit. Is it worth the decrease in quality? Absolutely not. And there's lots of other ways that you can get an earlier crop, and I've mentioned them many times in my videos, and I promise you, if you're interested, I'll make another video on that subject, on that topic. There's lots of ways, like in the early part of this summer, you know, you could take your figs and shuffle them. We talked about shuffling, okay? And you can also warm up the water that you give your figs early in the season. Warm it up. Let a 5-gallon bucket be in your kitchen or in your house or in your basement or, you know, even in your garage or someplace, or if you have a greenhouse in your someplace where it gets warm. And always water your figs early in the spring with warm water. I even do that sometimes for my in-ground figs. Okay, if I have extra water, like my barrels and they're warm, I'll bring them in here. I'll get 5-gallon buckets. When they get up to temperature, I'll water my figs with them. And you're pouring in thousands and thousands of thermal units of heat. And what it does is, you might not even see it on the top, but down below, the roots will develop and come to life. They'll come alive earlier, and they'll be more vigorous. And when the roots are early and vigorous, so will the fruit later on be too. Okay? Now that's a good method. And there's other methods that you can do. Okay? But mostly, you cannot fool Mother Nature. You mostly cannot do it. And you shouldn't even try it. Because Mother Nature is very wise, wiser than us. And we need to unlock its secrets. And we can't be tricksters. We can't try to trick it. If we do, yeah, we'll get earlier fruit, a little earlier. But guess what? Mother Nature will tell you there's a price to pay. And that price to pay is what? What is that price? Okay? The quality of your fruit. Forget about it. Don't do it. Oh, this is Debbie's. I almost ate it. Okay. Thank you so much for your visit. I hope you had fun. I certainly did. And I'm back to the hurricane now. Good day.